Okay. I have no idea what I just witnessed. The Duke Blue Devils are out of March Madness. UConn has done it. 19-point comeback. Danny Hurley. The Hurley brothers' name will not live in vain. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Duke chokes a 19-point lead to lose in the Elite Eight. UConn is going to the Final Four for the third time in the last 4 years. I can't believe it. As an Arizona fan, I can't believe what I just saw. Duke was the one team that I was going to be really nervous to see later down the line in the tournament. But now we don't have to face them. And we got to keep our heads screwed on straight as we face Michigan this upcoming weekend in Indianapolis. Wow. I mean, what an end to an unbelievable run by Duke. I mean, they were a consistent top 3 team in the nation the whole year. Cameron Boozer, I've said it all season long, he really just reminded me of a modern day Tim Duncan and the consistency that he was able to play with. 20 points, 10 rebounds. You can just book that on the stat sheet every single week, every single game. Just Mr. Consistent. And the fact that just looking at that last play, I mean, the last thing you needed was to chuck it up. Caden Boozer just chucks it up like a grenade and it gets tipped. And what a play by Mullins. I mean, just watching the game as, I would say, just like a casual college basketball fan. I mean, I pay attention, I feel like, more than the general population, but I've really been locked in this March, as you guys can tell with all the footage and, you know, all the reaction videos I've been doing and things like that. But, I mean, wow. Mullins able to get the steal, and then Caravan, not just to chuck it up, because let's be honest, Caravan, he has been an absolute dog for the Huskies, but just was not his day. And neither was it for Mullins and kind of the whole team. I mean, I was kind of watching, you know, off and on just because I thought Duke had it pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered for, you know, 95% of the game. But Mullins was able to just get the steal, and Caravan, shout out to him for not just chucking up a shot, which I'm sure all of us would have done. As, you know, you're the best player on the team, you might as well take it, you're a senior. But he was able to be unselfish and toss it up to the young kid, the 18, 19-year-old freshman Mullins, and baby-faced assassin nails it from 35. Just an unbelievable moment. And this is why we love March. This is why we sleep in May. Shout out to John Rothstein. Oh my goodness. Just a crazy way for the season to end for the Duke Blue Devils. And another choke job, as, you know, Duke wasn't able to get it done. You know, cue the White Lotus memes of, you know, the father. Wow. Just, it's even hard to comprehend. So the Final Four is set. Arizona, Michigan, and Illinois. Stojakovic and all of the itches, and the UConn Huskies. I did not expect that from the Huskies this season. I really didn't. It really flew under my radar. Just the fact that winning those back-to-back and then not really being able to get it done last season. 3 titles in a career is still on the table for Alex Caravan, which is an absolute credit to him, and the fact that he's just a straight-up winner at the college level. Looking at a preview, as an emergency preview, Arizona and Michigan, and then Illinois and UConn. We'll start with the latter. Illinois, UConn. It's going to be really interesting to see the size and the physicality that those teams play with. UConn, watching them, you know, you got Solo Ball, you got Alex Caravan, you got Mullins, a really solid backcourt. And then the big man inside, number 2, Terrace Reed, I believe is his name. Sorry, I'm showing my casual nature at this moment, but Reed is an absolute dog. I mean, you don't put up a 30 and 20 in an NCAA tournament game and take that lightly. So Reed is definitely going to be a huge matchup nightmare for the Illini. And then Stojakovic, they got all of the Eastern Europeans on their squad. And Wagler. Wagler's a dog. Keaton Wagler. I really love this draft class. I really, really do. There's so many good players. I mean, just off the top of my head, you got Boozer, DeBanza, Darren Peterson. I think it goes in that order, in my opinion. Boozer, absolutely love his consistent nature. The only thing that really concerns me, I guess, would be just the flashiness isn't there in terms of explosive burst of, athleticism or an absolute sniper from three. He's just a quality player. He, his brother, choked in the Elite Eight with the grenade pass, but in terms of him, the nature of his playing ability to be calm, cool, and collected at all times, and no matter the moment, he's able to pull up in the clutch. He had two, baby hook shots, just money, absolute money. And it's unfortunate the way the season ended for him, but he's still my number one rated, number one guy in this upcoming draft class. DeBanza out of BYU, a scoring assassin. He just reminds me of just so many good players. I mean, you got PG, you got a little sprinkle of Tatum. You got just some absolute heaters. Even a little Cam Thomas, in the mid-range, just able to pull from any angle, the athleticism, the agility, just gallops like a gazelle. And then Peterson, man, I've been, just so off of that hype train for a while now. Just not really into it. The potential's there, but he's just really kind of giving me Cam Reddish vibes. Everybody says, he's a good player, but he kind of just comes and goes. So we'll have to see what happens with that. And then, shout out to all my Arizona guys. Krivas, you made yourself a lot of money this tournament. Burries, what a way to just take over. You had that dagger 3 against Arkansas. You dive for a loose ball up 13 against Purdue when you don't have to. The game's kind of relatively sealed at that point. We just saw today that a game is never really out of reach. Sorry, Blue Devils. Burries has really shot up my draft boards. Darius Acuff, crazy, crazy player. Not almighty, the king, unable to beat the Goliath of Arizona, but a great season all in all for him. Wagler, like I mentioned, from Illinois, is an absolute stud. Wiry, but just so smart and creative with the passes. Kind of like a skinnier Josh Giddey. I definitely need to watch more tape to have my set in stone comparisons. Just somebody that comes off the top of my head, just creative, but still able to be an absolute flamethrower at times as well. Some other names just off the top of my head, prospects that we've seen. Isaiah Evans, the size, the shooting ability for Duke. I'm trying to think any other players. Michigan, Lendenborg, he's like 35 years old. So, of course, he's going to be beating up on some teenagers. And then, what else do we have? It was so fun watching Cohen Carr. The explosive dunks that he had. Probably not going to be that way, as we move into draft season in terms of him making it in the first 2 rounds. Yeah, absolutely crazy. I still haven't come back down to earth from the Arizona game last night. But Duke, that's throwing a monkey wrench in everybody's bracket officially. Everybody's minds, too, because I'm sure all the UConn fans weren't expecting a Final Four this year. Especially when they saw Duke as their number 1 seed they would eventually have to face in the tournament. And what a stamp. What a stamp to the end of the Duke season. An emphatic 8, Elite 8, when I think everybody had pretty much title hopes from, the very beginning. Getting a guy like Cam Boozer. Wow. Just crazy. Heartbreaking losses for Duke. And 25 years since Arizona has made a Final Four. Shout out to Lute Olson, Richard Jefferson, Gilbert Arenas. I thought this was, written in the cards to have Arizona fight their way through all these games and meet Duke in the championship and beat them, avenge their loss from 2001. That's not gonna be the case. The script writers changed it up midway through the film. So Michigan will be ready for you. Brian Brigger, best equipment manager in the country, is getting me fired up. Tommy Lloyd, Bryce James on the bench. You got all these guys giving their heart and soul. Aristode, Burries, Krivas, Pete, Bradley, Karchenkov. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but Koa Pete. I can't forget him. Most outstanding player in the West region. Has been an absolute dog since day one. And one of the things I love about this Arizona team is it's a team, man. It reminds me of, those 80s Celtic squads, the 80s Lakers, the Bulls, some of the best teams, 2014 San Antonio Spurs, the Warriors of the late 2010s, the Celtics of 2024, the unselfish nature that these guys play with. It's not really, an MJ type situation or an SGA, or it just kind of really reminds me of those Celtics, the 80s and the 2024 team and the 2008 team even, with the fact that Burries can be the best player on the team and lead him to victory. Then Pete can lead him to victory some games. Jaden Bradley icing it against Iowa State to put them in the Big 12 championship. Karchenkov, glue guy. Tobe Awaka, I forgot to mention him, the best offensive rebounder in the country. Krivas made himself a lot of money. The 7'2" Lithuanian. He just swallows everything up at the rim. Soft touch, in the high 70s, I think, from the free throw line, which is incredible. What can you say about this squad? I just love all of them. Tommy Lloyd has been the pinnacle of being a role model, being a leader in Tucson, being, someone for everybody to look up to, being the face of Tucson post Sean Miller and, the ugliness of the way that situation ended. But he's just, the teddy bear, he's just sweet and gets him fired up. And Lute Olson would be proud. RIP to the legend. I know he's really proud of this squad. Shout out to him and Bobby Olson. I'm just so happy to be alive to witness an Arizona Final Four appearance for the first time since before I was born, 2001. But we got to do it. It's been 29 years since the illustrious 1997 championship. It's time. Some things are happening in life that, changes are coming. A big announcement is coming. You guys will get that announcement shortly. But until then, in the meantime, hit that subscribe button. We are shooting up the charts. We are about to reach 1K. It's been a dream of mine to hit that since I really started doing this last year. I've been kind of playing around with it in college and just kind of posting videos that I liked, and now I'm starting to really try to take off in the podcast space and just create content that I would want to watch, whether it's just talking with my friends or clips that I like, highlights that I like, kind of just whatever. It's the Rombough Show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.